Two eyes, locked on a human face, still, watchful, reading something we cannot quite name. Now the wolf. Same stillness, same attention, but is this the same act, or something completely different? Dogs and wolves share more than 99% of their DNA, yet something separates how they engage with us. The question is what that something actually is. Here is what makes this worth asking. The gap between dogs and wolves cannot be explained by raw intelligence alone. These animals are too close, genetically, for that answer to hold. What researchers have found, after decades of careful testing, is something more specific. The difference is about readiness, about when and how easily an animal steps into a communicative relationship with a human. And some of the most repeated claims about wolves, that they simply cannot read us, do not survive contact with the full body of research. So this video examines 4 angles where the science gets genuinely interesting: pointing and gesture, eye contact and gaze, asking for help, and emotional signals. Each one tells a different piece of the same story. Start with the simplest test. A human points at one of 2 containers hiding food. Does the animal follow the gesture or ignore it? Early research framed dogs as uniquely prepared for this. Dogs followed the point with almost no training. The finding was attributed to domestication, and for years that story held. Then researchers designed a cleaner test. 7 hand-raised wolf pups and 7 hand-raised dog pups, raised identically from early weeks, tested at 4 months old on a subtle, brief pointing gesture. The dogs performed above chance, the wolves did not. That result looked like a clean win for domestication, but the same research team kept testing. They ran the same task with adult wolves, 8 wolves and 8 dogs, all with extensive human socialization. The adult wolves matched the dogs completely. The gap closed. A separate line of research pushed further. Scientists tested 5 groups of 8 adult canids each: hand-raised wolves, pet dogs, and shelter dogs, all on the same pointing task. 6 of the 8 wolves met individual mastery. Only 3 of the 8 indoor pet dogs did. So here is the honest synthesis. The dog advantage on pointing is real, but it is an advantage in timing, not in kind. A 4-month-old dog raised alongside a wolf pup reads a subtle human gesture the wolf pup cannot yet use. That same wolf, years later and deeply socialized, performs just as well. Domestication moved the starting line. It did not create an ability wolves entirely lack. One important note before moving forward. Every wolf study cited here used captive, hand-raised wolves with intensive human contact from the earliest weeks of life. These are not wild wolves. The comparison is always between animals given the same human exposure. That caveat matters. Now shift to gaze, and here the story gets genuinely surprising. Reading someone's gaze is not one thing. It splits into at least 2 separate acts. Following the direction of a look into space is one act. Entering face-to-face communication with a person is another. And dogs and wolves split cleanly between them. On pure gaze following, where a human simply turns and looks at a distant point, socialized wolves tested from 14 weeks onward reliably tracked the human's line of sight. Then researchers tested pack-living dogs on the same minimally communicative gaze. No words, no gesture, just a human staring into the distance. The dogs did not follow it. The wolves had. The researchers' interpretation is worth sitting with. Dogs may have been shaped by domestication to expect overtly communicative signals: a pointed look, a word, a directed gesture. A human staring blankly into space reads as noise to a dog, not a message. Wolves, without that filter, treated the gaze as information. But face-to-face eye contact flips the picture entirely. In developmental testing, wolves took longer to establish eye contact with a human at every age: 8 weeks, 4 months, and adulthood. Dog pups showed more sustained gazing at human faces. Wolf pups showed more avoidance of a familiar experimenter's direct gaze. Wolves track where you look, dogs track you. That is the real distinction. Dogs are not better at following gaze in every sense. They are more prepared to treat a human face as the place worth watching. Now the unsolvable box. An animal learns to open a container for food. Then the container is secretly locked. What happens next? In the landmark version of this test, 9 dogs and 9 socialized wolves faced the locked box. Dogs looked back at the human earlier. Dogs spent more time gazing at the human. Wolves kept working the box. This result became the cornerstone of the idea that dogs uniquely recruit humans as problem-solving partners. A later study complicated that story considerably. Researchers tested 15 socialized wolves, 14 pack dogs, 19 pet dogs, and 11 free-ranging dogs on the same task. Wolves were more persistent at working the apparatus than all dog groups. And here is the finding that reframes everything. Across all groups, less persistent animals looked back at the humans sooner and longer. Persistence was suppressing the looking back behavior in wolves, not an absence of social capacity. Dogs are not uniquely wired to ask for help. Dogs are quicker to give up on the object and redirect to the human. Wolves keep working the problem themselves first. Once a wolf accepts the human as a social partner, human-directed looking emerges far more readily than that original result suggested. A dog hits a wall and immediately looks at you. A wolf hits the same wall and tries harder. Both animals are reading the situation. They are reading it differently. The final angle is the one closest to what most people actually wonder about. Does the animal read your mood? For dogs, the evidence is strong. One study showed that pet dogs discriminate happy from angry human faces and generalize that learning to new faces and new identities, ruling out simple photo recognition. A second study went further. 17 family dogs viewed paired images, one happy face and one angry face, while hearing a vocalization. The dogs looked longer at the face whose emotional tone matched the sound for both human and dog stimuli. They were matching emotional valence across two separate channels at once. Dogs also use emotional expressions as directional cues, orienting toward hidden food based on where a human's emotional signal pointed. For wolves, the direct comparison is thin. One study analyzed 270 training sessions with 9 socialized dogs and 9 socialized wolves. Both responded to human vocal tone, showing more positive behavior with warmer speech, but the pattern differed by pitch. Dogs responded more strongly to higher-pitched speech. Wolves responded more strongly to lower pitch. State this clearly: dogs reading human emotion is well supported. Whether wolves do or do not is undertested, not disproven. The honest answer is dogs proven, wolves still open. So, which one actually understands you? Dogs arrive more pre-aligned. They settle into the communicative relationship more readily, look at your face sooner, read your gesture earlier in life, give up on a problem and turn to you, and respond to your emotional signals with documented consistency. That alignment appears to be a product of domestication acting on thresholds and timing, not on building wholly new abilities from nothing. Wolves, when hand-raised and deeply socialized, show far more capacity than the popular story allows. They follow your gaze, they eventually read your pointing, they respond to your vocal tone. But wolves need more time, more exposure, and tasks that do not penalize their different motivational style. The gap between a dog and a wolf is not that one sees you and one does not. Only one of them was shaped, over thousands of years, to treat you as the most interesting thing in the room, and to show it from the very first weeks of life. A wolf can learn to read you. A dog arrived already trying.